Hello, guys. Good evening. Yesterday meeting did not record correctly, so I have to record it one more time, and we will talk about the same things. It will be without your questions. So, welcome, first of all, welcome to my course or welcome to my webinar, and we'll be talking the whole days about Hildegard von Bingen and her spring healing plants. So this is our day one. Who am I? My name is Petra Stramko. I'm a passionate herbalist, and actually, I specialize in Hildegard von Bingen studies. And I'm with Hildegard for the past about 8 years. Since my childhood, I have been basically doing healing plants and healing herbs as my grandfather was a doctor and he introduced me into this area of life more or less a natural way. I've also have additional studies in Germany and in Austria. I did a study in Germany for it was like a very intensive course for 4 or 5 days. I don't remember anymore. And there's a 1 year study in Austria, so I'm certified to teach Hildegard von Bingen. Actually, I consider Hildegard to be one of its kind herbalist, and I really love deeply her teachings and the books or the wisdom that is written in her books is unbelievable. Let's talk about Hildegard first a little bit. She was born in 1098. Actually, the exact date of her birth is not known. She was born in into a noble family as the 10th child, and her father, Hildebert von Bendersheim, it's located in Germany. He was the type of nobleman that respected the church quite a lot, and he agreed with his wife that Hildegard will join the monastery as a nun when she turned 8 years. Uh, Actually, during her childhood, she was sick very often. She also had some kind of visions. The one that is recalled by her mother and is actually noted in the book is that she saw a pregnant cow on the hill, and she said that the calf is going to have a little star on his head. And when the calf was born, calf has a little star on his head. So she, since her childhood, she probably could see and predict certain things. When she joined the monastery, she joined it with another girl, but Jutta von Sponheim, she was the abbess, she took good care of Hildegard. At that time, this Bodenberg was a monastery especially for men, not for women. Women was just a couple of them were living there, and they were separated from men. Jutta von Sponheim was very nice in leading the whole monastery or the females conclave, as we usually say. But unfortunately, in 1136, Jutta died, and Hildegard became the abbess of the Disibodenberg. This is just a very short overview of her life, but what is very important for us to know is the year 1141, because this was a crucial year when Hildegard wrote about herself. When I was 42 years and 7 months old, a burning light coming from heaven enveloped my whole mind, my chest, and my heart. It didn't burn, but warmed as the sun warms with its rays. I suddenly understood the meaning of the books, the Psalms, and other books, as well as the Old and New Testament. Actually, this is taken from her book, from her original, and you can see in the description that Hildegard was the one that was given the divine light. On the right, you can see a very nice picture of Hildegard with this divine light coming to her from above. It's not a headache, as some of the people might say. It's a divine light that entered her whole body, her mind, as she is describing in this text. Also, see, she's pictured here writing a book, so you can see that she could read and write in Latin, but her Latin was not good enough. That's why monks, you can see on the picture a monk on the right. Her monk was the monk that was helping her to write the book was his name was Walmart, and the monks were helping her basically to bring the book to life, and they were rewriting the text into a correct Latin for that time. So that's why this picture is the way it is right now here on the right, showing the divine light. Hildegard is writing, and the monks are helping her out. When we look at Hildegard's medicine from a, I would say, very high perspective, then we notice one interesting thing, that Hildegard medicine is based on elements. And the same happens with the Chinese medicine. For example, also other medicines of the world have elements in them. Chinese medicine has 5 elements. It has water, earth, fire, metal, and wood. Hildegard medicine has 4 elements. It has water, air, earth, and fire. I consider Hildegard medicine to be the medicine for Europe. Not all of her plants that she recommends for treating illnesses actually come from Europe, but all of them can be found right now in Europe. So if you decide to use her herbs, or you decide to use her remedies, a lot of times, 99% of the times, you can find all the ingredients here in Europe. When you look at the Europe as it's all, it does have a very famous herbalist, one that is very famous in Austria and in Germany. Her name is Maria Treben, and she also has very nice books about healing herbs and plants, etc. Or it's Dr. Kneipp. Dr. Kneipp was very famous also in Germany, and he wrote a couple of books. So if you want to get acquainted with this, or you might look up the Maria Treben book. So we continue talking about the books. Actually, there's one book called Physica here that was printed in English language. It's written by Priscilla Troop, and it's available in Amazon. So if you like to have a copy, then you can purchase it there. The another book that is very interesting is the Causa et Curae, Causes and Treatments, so causes of illnesses and treatments. This physical book is about this thin. When I take the German original from her German monastery, you will see it's about this thick. You see the difference? There are differences between these two books. I don't know which manuscript Priscilla Troop used as an original to write this book, or if she shortened some of the text, I don't know. But I must honestly say that this blue book sometimes misses certain parts about the plants that is included in the red book. But despite all that, it's still a good book to go over and look through and read a lot of interesting things about plants, elements, trees, stones, fish, birds, metals, reptiles, and animals in general. So it's a very interesting introduction into Hildegard from a point of view of healing powers. When you look at the healing remedies in Hildegard, you will a lot of time you will find elixirs. You will find elixir is usually a compound of a wine with herbs and sometimes a little bit of honey, sometimes some spices. Oxymel is a mixture of herbs, plants with honey and with vinegar. You might think that oxymel is unpleasant. Actually, oxymel is very pleasant to be taken. It's a very interesting mixture because as you know, herbs, if you put them in alcohol, you will get different compounds out as compared if you put this plant into water, and the same happens in oxymel. In oxymel, when we are using the honey together with the vinegar will actually extract different things from the plant as compared to water or alcohol. Hildegard is also recommending herbal pillows. You can find their poultices, steam baths quite a lot. She does have recipes for quite a lot of salves. She recommends some of the oil extractions also. Oil extraction meaning that you will be using oil and herbs. And pretty rare are cold and warm teas and brews. That is very interesting about Hildegard because a lot of herbalists they usually recommend drinking a tea or making a tincture, and she's the one that rarely recommends this. There are plants that where she recommends them, but not in every plant. So don't expect in every plant get a recipe for a tea or for a brew. Why do I consider Hildegard to be contemporary? Actually, when I was growing up, my grandfather, as a doctor, he used to have a lot of books, and also he used to have a lot of books about herbs and healing plants. And as a child, I was going through the books, and when we take just example nettle, you open up one book and you found that nettle is good for your digestive system. You open another book, you read that the nettle is good for your lungs. Another book, you read that it's very excellent for your nervous system. So there were different information on the same plants, and I got a little bit frustrated. So I started digging and I found Hildegard. And when you open the book Physica, you will find the following description. Nettle is very hot by nature. It's not good to eat it raw as it's harsh. But when it sprouts from the ground, it's very good for humans cooked as a food. It cleanses your stomach and removes mucus from it. Any kind of stinging nettle does that. So what is Hildegard actually describing here, and you will see it in her books, are the healing powers of the plant, how they are hidden, and how we should use these powers for our own good. And this healing power of the plant is called subtilitas, and you will find it through her books. And when she writes about subtilitas, remember all the times it's the healing power hidden there. So you can see the difference, how different is her description of a plant compared to the regular herbal book. Let's move on. Here is a nettle picture. It's a wonderful big grown nettle. You can see that the nettle is going to have flowers, and later on it will have the seeds. This is a type of nettle that we do not collect because it does not help us. It does not have healing powers for us anymore. When you look into the science or scientific world, you will find the information that also the science kind of studied nettle a little bit. And on the PubMed, you can find quite a lot of articles and a lot of works about nettle. And one of them is stating when the nettle gets big, it does have chemical compounds. They're not good for us to be consumed or used. So it's interesting enough that Hildegard says that the nettle should be collected when it's small, and in that state, it does have the healing power for us. So nettle, when you go into the nature, you will find a lot of varieties of nettle, but not all of them are stingy. Nettle loves a shadow or half sun location, so you might look into that. And she loves soil that is moist and rich, but also can survive on a dry soil, but doesn't like it that much. It sprouts in spring and dies in autumn on the same spot, usually nearly on the same spot. It's a perennial plant, but she moves around a little bit because usually you can propagate nettle with the seeds, or the best one is to take a piece of plant with the root. So vegetative propagation is the one that you can be using, But what it does when actually the roots move a little bit, then the nettle will be traveling with the roots. So it will not stay, nettle will not stay on the same place all the time. It will just oscillate around a certain area. That is pretty small, 55 by 50 centimeters. It's not a big one. So when we go back to the description that Hildegard gave us, what we see in the first sentence, nettle is very hot by nature. First of all, she will describe every time the energetics of the plant. So nettle is very hot by nature, meaning that it does have, when it's very hot, it does have the fire energy. The element fire is here in action. As she's writing the second sentence, it's not good to eat it raw as it's harsh. So she's saying, don't eat it raw because it's not doing good to us. But when it's pressed from the ground, so as we can see, when it's very tiny, very small, it's very good for us to consume in a cooked form. It cleanses our stomach and removes the mucus from us. So it's the first, one of the first spring plants that we can be using to basically revitalize and help our body to cleanse and get our body the new fresh energy from the nature. I do have a homework for you today. Find some nettle in the nature around you. You can bring it home, wash it, and store it in the fridge. Just wash it and dry it in a salad dryer or salad centrifuge. Just dry it a little bit, cover it with a little bit of a kitchen towel, and put it in a plastic container. If you don't have the nettle around, you can buy the dry nettle, just a small bag, that's enough. Just to try it out, how it tastes. Or if there's this option is available to you, then look around your house and tell me the next time what plants grow around your house and what you have seen. If you don't basically know the plants, to just take pictures and bring some pictures with you, and you can share the pictures next time with us. The next meeting we'll be having on the 17th of March at 11 p.m. Vienna time. I'll be sending out the reminders. And if you do not know your time zone, just use the page worldtimebuddy.com and you will find your time zone there. So thank you today for your attention, and I hope to see you on Wednesday. And bring the nettle, take the nettle. Please use gloves when you will be collecting nettle because it's very stingy and you don't want your hands to get hurt or anything else. So just go ahead and see you next week.